If we go to the gym together and work out, how long would you have to be on the treadmill before I get skinny? I mean, how many other people would have to get on the treadmill before I would get skinny? That seems like a ludicrous question, doesn't it? I'm J Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast, and I hate to say it, but we all kind of do it in some way. We all blame somebody else for our failed success, for our just almost but not quite making it. It might be the weather, it might be the taxes, it might be any kind of other thing. But we seldom want to take full responsibility ourselves for our limitations, our failure, our lack of grandiosity in the ways of success. A couple of years ago, I had a chance to teach in Brazil, teaching business leaders, business owners, entrepreneurs about the ways of leadership. And in one segment of that, I took a principle that I've heard John Maxwell teach several times, and we did it as a practical application demonstration, but with no words to explain it. And that is, I had my translator, who was a very young, very buff, very tall Thiago. And Thiago Ribeiro and I went to the front of the room, and I said, to get warmed up before we get started today, we're going to do some push-ups. And so we stood back to back. We got down on the floor with our feet against each other so we couldn't see each other's heads, and we began doing push-ups. And I would call them out, and we would do our push-ups. And I called out one, and we both did a push-up. And I called out two, and we both did a push-up. And by the time I called out three, I was resting on one elbow, and he was still doing push-ups. And by the time I got to 10, the entire room was upset with the fact that I was calling out push-ups, and he was still doing them, but I was doing nothing. Let that sink in for a minute. Because, we all have a tendency to do that in some area of our life. Maybe it's our relationships. We want to blame everybody else. I heard someone recently say, your life isn't going to get better until everyone you know goes to see a psychiatrist. So pretty deep thinking today. I want you to stay with me, though. When we blame everybody else, we lose the ability to make change in ourselves. When we expect everyone else to do the push-ups or everyone else to do the treadmill time, when we expect everyone else to succeed for us, success isn't for us. Like the beetle on its back, or you've heard me recently tell the story about the bears trying to learn to swim, and the two guys in the boat thought they were being heroes to rescue these little bears from the river and deliver them to their mother on the other side. Mama Bear may have thought, I want to eat you guys, not because you look yummy or because I'm mad at you for being humans in a boat, but because I'm trying to teach my children to swim and you're out here taking them out of the pool and throwing them on the side. Our society, especially our American culture, has gotten so adept at blame shifting. I can make that someone else's fault. And if I can make it someone else's fault, then they owe me my success. That is not how success comes, my friends. And as leaders, we are responsible for seeing to it that the lessons that someone needs to learn are theirs to learn. Heaven knows if you help them out and they find that valuable lesson has been accomplished and there's something of value in the learning of the lesson, they're going to blame you for stealing the lesson. No, it's their lesson to learn, just like it's your lesson to learn. You can't do my push-ups, you can't do my treadmill time, you can't solve the problems in my life if I intend to benefit from them. That's me. That's my job. And in your life, it's your job. And your problems are probably different than my problems. And your solutions are different from my solutions. I remember walking through Canton First Monday. It's a big swap meet type thing that happens in East Texas. And as I was walking through, this guy had these funny little wooden things that he'd made. Some were steps, some were wagons, some were signs. And he had a price tag of $20 on them. And we were just walking by the booth, and I stopped to admire some of them. And there was another gentleman in the booth arguing with him about the value of his product. And He said, $20 is the price for it. And the guy goes, it's a piece of barnwood, for heaven's sake. I got those all over my pasture. He said, but I put words on it. He said, yeah, but the words that you put on it are, I mean, I could have written those words. I mean, I could have engraved that. I could have carved that. I could have whittled that. I could have done all of that myself. And the guy said, yeah, but you haven't. And so if you want the fruit of my labor, you're going to have to pay for it. If you've got barnwood all over your pasture and the ability to carve it, to whittle it, to engrave it, to put words on it, then do it. Don't stand here in my booth and complain about my price and my value. But we all do that in some area of life. In some area of life, we want someone else to create the change so we can have the benefits. But if they create the change and they keep the benefits, somehow we blame them for stealing our benefits. The value in your life, the value of your lessons, the value of your leadership, those are going to come from the effort you put forth to see the changes made, from the work you do to see life change, from the work you activate in yourself. As a leader, you're responsible for the areas of challenge that you face, not the area of responsibility everybody else faces. Sure, you can help them discover how they may solve the problem, but solving it for them, well, that makes it your problem, your solution, and your valuable lesson. At that point, you have the right to keep it. I'm J Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast for Tell It Like It Is TV. Have a blessed day.